we will take questions for the players first, and then we will take questions for Coach Ralph. Go ahead and open the floor for questions.
Khamil, last game you played wonderfully. That last play down the court, though, you couldn't finish the game with the layup. You had a huge game today, and you seal it on both ends, on offense and on defense. Talk about that stretch to finish the game and just how amazing that was for you.
Felt good. Honestly, I'm on the floor with 4 great teammates who helped lead me and just talk to me, so I think I was just ready for the play.
Khamil, they seem to draw that last play up for you when you got the layup in isolation. What did that mean to you as a freshman to have that confidence from coach?
I was nervous, but I made it, so.
Jordyn, what's it like running the point for you in such a physical game where Auburn's really just kind of pressuring up high and you guys have to not always, pass immediately, have to think a little bit harder? What's it like for you to kind of control that offense in a really physical contest?
I feel like I just relieve pressure for Yana and JoJo, just being able to bring it up sometimes and, thinking about it, but coach tells me to play it early enough so I don't have to do too much. But, my teammates getting open, so I just feel like I could just relieve pressure for Yana and Joe.
And Jordyn, down the stretch when you're guarding honestly Scott Grayson, what do you say the biggest key for you was in holding her to a 6 for 23 shooting line, which is remarkable?
The biggest key, just making sure she doesn't shoot threes and going right-handed. Just, she's their leading scorer, she's their best player, and just, locking down and making sure that we get a stop.
Jordyn, that probably wasn't your guys' best offensive game, but you still find a way to win it. What does that say about your team?
It says that we play really, really good defense. But, we're gritty, we grind. Coach always tells us just keep going. Offense will come, but your defense wins championships.
Obviously, a very big win, Jordyn, but an even bigger game possibly coming up this weekend. Does that game kind of mean more going up against Tennessee, and how much do you look forward to those matchups?
I think we take every game with the same approach. Every game is a SEC game. We want to win, so same preparation. We're going to do the same thing that we do every game and just come out of Knoxville, hopefully with a win.
And Khamil, on that final play where you got that huge steal, what went through your head as that ball was soaring through the air and you realized that you could make a play on the ball?
I just had to steal it. There was no other option, so.
Was winning SEC Freshman of the Week a big confidence booster for you heading into this game?
Yeah, but honestly, I just try to keep my head down and just keep working, so.
What's this run been like for you as just a freshman with so many players on this team that have had a lot of success and that are much more senior to you, but you've come in and you've earned a massive spot and you've been producing a lot? What's it been like?
Feels good. Honestly, I'm just blessed for the opportunity, so.
Khamil, you had the option to play a lot of places out of high school. Why was it here that suited you?
They just have great people, great staff, great team. I just wanted to be a part of it.
All right. Jordyn, Khamil, thank you so much. Congratulations.
Good job, you too.
Thank you.
You guys will learn about Khamil. She's a woman of few words.
We found out, too, that golf's important to Jordyn.
Yeah, she's a good golfer. She's a really good golfer, yeah.
All right. We'll take questions for head coach Shea Ralph.
How much trust do you have in Khamil setting up that last play for her? Just kind of elaborate what you were planning on doing, or what went through your head when trying to figure out who to give the ball to?
Well, I think they had a small lineup in. Khamil's extremely athletic, and that's a play that we have worked on. And I felt like that was our best opportunity. A lot of the screening and cutting things that we normally do just weren't working. They were switching a lot. We were getting jammed up. There was a lot of physicality in the game, and you just have to figure out how the game is being called and make the best choice. Specifically for Khamil, I've been really hard on her. And it's because I know how great she can be. And Khamil coming in, now she's only played basketball, I think this is her 5th year. And everything she did in high school and AAU was really easy for her. And so when she got here, after spending most of her life thinking she got everything right, I made her feel like she couldn't do anything right, that everything she did was wrong. Only to hopefully show her how hard you have to prepare to do things like she did today. So one of the reasons why in the recruiting process it's really important for us to build relationships and for them to understand the kind of people we are is because when they get here, that's what we're going to fall back on. when we get freshmen, and we'll continue to get them, like Khamil, who's super talented, but a lot of times they don't have to work very hard to get a lot done. When they get here, they need to believe and trust in me that I'm going to guide them the right way, that my staff is going to guide them the right way. And then they hear from the veterans and the leaders in our locker room to keep going. Don't give up on yourself. We got your back. Coach believes in you. This is why she's so hard on you. When we got back from Christmas, Khamil looked like a different player. And we've been spending more individual time together. And there's a lot that she still needs to learn. But the biggest thing is that she can figure out if she can learn how to not play tired, and if she understands how capable she is physically and mentally of just honestly being unguardable and being able to defend anyone, she's going to be a monster. But when she got here, I wasn't going to let her think that right away. She was going to have to figure out how to work hard. And you're seeing the result of that. You're seeing the result of that. Hopefully we continue to stack games like this for her, because this builds confidence. You guys were right on. It builds confidence for her to make, and that didn't lose us the game the other day, that layup. I mean, she had an opportunity, right? It didn't lose us the game. But it was an opportunity to win. And then she got another one today. And that's what we talked about in film. Hey, you're going to get another one. We talk about the individual workout. You're going to get another one. Let's make sure we're ready so you can take advantage. And that's exactly what she did. Hopefully, that will continue to build her confidence, because once she figures out how good she is, she's going to be a problem for the rest of the country, not just our conference.
You guys have won the high-scoring games like Western Kentucky and Kentucky, but you also have found ways to win games like this. How important is that?
It is extremely important to just figure out how to grind out games when things aren't going your way. And I felt like that happened the other day, and we gave it away. We weren't able to do it the other day for whatever reason. And you just don't know how the course of a game is going to play out. We missed a ton of open threes today. It felt like we turned the ball over 100 times. I know we only turned it over 21, but it felt like a lot more than that. We couldn't really move. We couldn't cut. Our timing was off a little bit. So not only do we figure out, hey, we got to work on a lot of stuff here, and we're going to get better at that. But, man, J.O. hit the nail on the head. Our defense was solid. And day in and day out, no matter what we see on the floor, no matter who we play, in our conference, outside our conference, if we can put it together a defensive effort like today, we'll always have a chance to win the game. And then the other stuff will come along. We'll continue to work on the things that we need to get better at. Really, really proud of my team for just staying the course and leaning in on our defense and then making the plays we had to make at the end of the game to win it.
It was a pretty probably hard pill to swallow, that last loss. You come in here and you defend the home court. You put together a wonderful effort. How good was this to get back on track ahead of a massive game?
It was huge. I mean, there's a lot of ways that a young team like ours is having some early success, because we haven't had this kind of success since I've been here. And we do lean on some young players. And we also have some veterans. There's a lot of ways you can go when you're riding high and then you lose a game at home that you had a chance to win, that you should have won. And the response, the next day I walked into the gym really early, and there were 6 of my players in there already after that game, trying to get some extra work. That's how I know this team is special. That's how I know they really want to win. And that's, we said this last week. I don't think we're going to go undefeated. But the fact that we rebounded from that, kind of in the same position down the stretch, where things weren't going really right for us offensively and we needed to get stops, today was different. If we can keep growing in that way and eliminating our mistakes, then I feel good about where we're going for the rest of the season. But it was huge to come back today and win a game. Anytime you can get a win in the SEC is huge. At home or on the road, but especially at home in front of our home crowd at Vanderbilt was awesome. It's a great feeling.
Why did you say the key was to kickstart your offense after not scoring a single point for the first 6 minutes of the game?
Oh, God, your guess is as good as mine. I wanted them to move through the physicality. You can't get caught up in how the game is being reffed and yell at the refs, yell at each other. That doesn't help. It is what it is. You have no control over that. So I wanted them to understand they have to keep moving. And if we call something and it's defended, we can't stop and stare at people trying to make plays off the dribble. That's not helpful. Hopefully you saw we started to flash, pass, cut, and move a little bit. But the floor needed to be spaced a little bit more. So I felt like we were able to execute when we just took a deep breath. We had a couple different people running the point. We set good screens. We flashed to the ball when we got in trouble. And then we had people make some big plays at the rim, make some big shots. And then we just went back and played great defense. And I told them, just try to win every possession with our effort. If we can do that, if we can have great effort on both ends and win the possession that way, we'll be okay. Don't get caught up in all the other stuff. But it certainly gives us something good to look at in film, because I think we're probably going to see not only Auburn, but this kind of defense again soon.
Not to kill the vibe, but you brought up turnovers.
It's all right. The vibe was killed for me when I looked at the stat sheet. It's okay.
Have you seen any common denominators in that, or
Just pressure. I mean, just really intent. And, we have a really great team. I love my team. And there's a lot of teams in the SEC that are bigger and more athletic. And there's a lot, you see a lot of teams play kind of a pressure style of defense where it kind of feels overwhelming for our kids at times. I want them to be comfortable with that. Because if we can be comfortable in that chaos and we can attack it intelligently, we'll get wide open layups and threes. It's just being comfortable in it and not letting that kind of pressure. What they want you to do is panic and give them the ball. That's what we did the majority of the day today. But if we can stay composed and poised and operate within that chaos and kind of let our pace dictate the game, then I feel like it will be a little bit smoother on that end of the floor. Certainly something that we'll continue to work on. But I'm really proud that we were able to fight through that today and come away with that win.
Coach, what have you seen from the Lady Vols this year as you get ready for them now?
I mean, they're the Lady Vols. They're Tennessee. They have a storied tradition of excellence. I've seen, them look really good, and I've seen them not look so good. I've seen the same from my team. And for me, and J.O.'s right. I know it's an in-state rivalry, and I'm starting to learn at Vanderbilt what that really means, but we didn't like them so much when I was at Connecticut either. So it's no different. I want them to understand as we move through the season, we're going to approach the game the same way. The reason we do that is because the next game on our schedule is the most important game we have this year. We're going to prepare for it like that, and then we're going to turn around and do it again, so that when we get into March and we get into the NCAA tournament, and we have an opportunity to do something that hadn't been done in a long time here, our kids will understand, hey, this is what we do. We've been preparing all year the exact same way because this is the most important game of the year. So that's how we're taking it.
You've spoken about your players. This team hasn't had a ton of success winning all the time in your first few years here. Mm-hmm. All of a sudden, they seem super confident out on the court. They seem like they're going to be able to weather any storm. How great is that for you as you get deeper into this SEC season?
It's a good feeling as a coach to see that your kids have learned how to handle a lot of adversity, and that they're starting to figure out that when you fail a lot, it's a learning opportunity, and then you get hungry to succeed. And they also understand that success is like we can enjoy today, but we got to get up and do it again tomorrow. And it's less about the result and more about the process. So what I'm really proud of my team is like we've laid a foundation here. Culturally of having a winning mindset. Just because you win games doesn't make you a winner. You know what I mean? Just because you win games doesn't make you a winner. A winner is somebody who gets knocked down 800 times and gets back up and fights and throws the first punch. I want my kids to have that mentality. Hey, we're not going to do everything right. You will never see us give up. You will never see us quit. You'll see us learn and get better. And that's what we've been doing for 2.5 years. So for them to finally see that pay off a little bit, for me as a coach, I'm joyful for them, but I know we still have a long way to go.
How important was it for you to honor Pat Summitt today?
Oh, man. There's a story behind that. She recruited me, but she played with my mom. She played in the U.S. World Games, World University Games. Don't quote me on that. I'll get in trouble with my mom if I get it wrong. Before there was an Olympics for women. They played together. They were good friends. She recruited me when I came out of high school. She's a really, really good woman. She was a great basketball coach, obviously, but she was a great person, an even better person. And I'm thankful for all that she did for our sport, not only as a player but as a coach, because I wouldn't be here if it weren't for her. And if there's ever a time that we can honor Pat Summitt in any way, I'll be the first in line to do so. Just super grateful for what she's done for our game and for me.
Does that add another layer in these trips to Knoxville for you, because you knew both the coach she was and the woman that she was, and she was kind of integrated into your family? Does that add a little bit more importance to those trips?
I mean, it does in the sense that I'm always aware that I'm grateful. You know, I never feel like I can't, you know, I never felt competitively towards Pat Summitt, like I don't like Tennessee or I never felt that. I'm always grateful for, to come up against a competitor like her. I was grateful to play against her teams because you knew they were the teams that were never going to quit. As she coached with passion and energy. And now as I sit in the seat, in the head coaching seat, I know how hard what she did is. And especially for as long as she did it, man, that's hard. That deserves the respect from everyone in the country. She deserves to be honored, not just because she's not here, but because what she did is hard to do. And I'm grateful for her. I'm grateful for her representation as a woman, as a mother, as a basketball player, and as a coach.
All right, Coach, thank you for your time. Congratulations on the win. We'll talk to you after the game on Sunday.
Thank you, guys. Thank you so much.